Hey everybody, welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. My name is Frank.
And I'm Peter.
And today we're going to talk about the three top roles, at least our opinions, of Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Before we start.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a, all right. So.
For a second I blanked and I was like, no, he's already started.
This is, I kind of like this.
Okay.
It's a fun thing we do. So, what was the first R-rated movie you snuck into when you were an underage scamp?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Think about that.
Yep.
And yeah. So hey, everybody, like and subscribe if you would. That'd be fantastic.
Yes,
we love that when you do that. And Angelina Jolie, go.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Angelina Jolie. All righty. In one way or another, she's been around Hollywood for a while.
Well, yeah,
because she's kind of born into it too.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, she's always kind of been around in circles in those circles, I should say, because of her father, John Voight, but then Billy Bob Thornton, and then Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So she's always around.
She's always around.
Yeah. Okay, Angelina Jolie. I want to say first role in no particular order, but the first one I thought of was Girl Interrupted.
Okay.
Which is a Winona Ryder movie and Angelina Jolie movie, as well as others. But her performance in that one is, noteworthy. It's a rough situation. Yeah, she did win an Oscar for that. That's what she won her award for. It's a rough situation. Takes place mostly in the psychiatric institution.
Yeah.
And her character, what do you want to say? She's cool, confident on the surface anyway.
Oh, she's a mess.
Yeah, but she comes off, compared to Winona Ryder, she's kind of cool, she's confident, but there's a lot of deep scars underneath.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of breakage.
So that's something. And it's interesting, not specifically, or not just with this movie, but it's interesting how there are a lot of good roles out there in sad situations where people have mental problems and sometimes health problems, but mental health problems, those sometimes are just, some great roles.
Yeah, and really, I think challenges an actor to get into that.
It's sad. It's sad that's some of the good stuff where you can mine some good things out of that. Wow. And so this Girl Interrupted, her role, sticks with you. You don't forget it often. If you've seen it, you don't forget it. She kind of portrays herself as this, just self-confident and this sort of thing. But underneath, it's not what the situation is.
And I think that her being able to kind of generate that sort of subtext.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Crazy, for lack of a better word, is that's
there's like a couple of levels there.
It's a tremendous job she does.
And I don't know exactly how old she was, but she was young.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, 2021 maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that, perhaps. So that I would pick Girl Interrupted. Like I said, it's a tough one because it takes place in a mental institution. You can't shake that, but the performance is great.
Yeah.
So Girl Interrupted. Second one, actually, it might even have come out the same time or pretty close. Is Pushing Tin. The movies got a good cast, but it's not the greatest of movies.
Yeah,
But it's not bad.
it's John Cusack.
It's
right?
John Cusack,
Billy
Billy
Bob.
Bob Thornton,
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett,
Yeah.
and Angelina
And-
Jolie. Those are like the four main things. And like, it should have been better. Does that make sense? I'm not.
Yeah, no, it should have been
should
better.
have been
Given
better.
its pedigree, it definitely should have been better.
Yeah, should have been better. And what for some reason, air traffic controllers, which is what the Billy Bob Thornton character and the John Cusack character are, and they're also very competitive.
Right.
That is the text of the thing on the surface sounds like that could be interesting. That could really be interesting because it's like air traffic controllers. You always think of like that's a high stress job.
Yeah,
but they're playing it as a game.
Yeah, which
is like who can you know what I mean? And it's
the
so
weirdest part of that movie is that like of all the jobs to be competitive.
Exactly.
Like what? I'm gonna land that plane.
I'm gonna try to make it as close to hitting the other plane or better or on time. It's
no
like,
sense.
Yeah, you don't screw around with stuff like that. But
that
that's what they're
aspect
screwing
of that
around
movie
with.
kind of threw me.
And now getting back to the Angelina Jolie character, she's this young, and she is portrayed. She is young. She's portrayed in the movie as being a young wife. And because of, she's in the movie, she's married to the Billy Bob Thornton character. And Billy Bob Thornton, with this, hyper competitive relationship with the John Cusack character, his work schedule and hours are keeping him away from her, keeping him away from home. And so she's getting increasingly lonely, and she's this portrayed, her portrayal is this like, I'm not going to say hyper sexualized, but she's like a very sexual character.
Yeah, and she's very also pretty thrill seeking as well.
Yeah, so she's bringing out another wrinkle into the John Cusack relationship with Billy Bob Thornton, because now John Cusack and her are having a sexual relationship. So that adds more competition and more problems with the other relationship. So that one there was interesting because she's almost like using her sexuality.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting. And like I said, she's a young actress. I like about the same time, I'm going to say, as Girl Interrupted. So I don't know, 20, 21 years old, something like that, 22 maybe. So that was different, especially compared to the Girl Interrupted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's a little more in control, obviously, and pushing tin. I wanted to like the movie more, but I liked her performance.
Yeah.
So that would be a second one. The third pick would be The Changeling, which has now probably been out for a while now, maybe 14 or 15 years. I'm not positive, but that's this one's also a strange. This is a strange one. It's a period piece, 1920s Los Angeles, and cinematography is good. I can remember like that, like the wardrobe, everything just looks like it's perfectly 1920s. In Hollywood, it just looks, or L.A. Everything looks good. They got the great wardrobes. Everything's really good. The weird. And she's a mother. She's portraying a mother of a missing child, and so then she's putting pressure on the LAPD. Child's missing, kidnapped. Help me. And they're kind of taking their time going about it, and Then months later, the LA police say, "Hey, we found a kid in Chicago, somewhere
Yeah.
like in the Midwest." So now the other, half a country away, we found a kid and it's your son, and it's really not her son. He's like the boy they found is like 3 or 4 inches shorter than what her boy was 6 months previous or a year previous, and nobody at school who was former students with the boy, they don't buy it. The dental records don't. It's like what? And the police are trying to put this over. It's a stranger song. So like then she's back. Wow. So she's back with the button heads with the police. This corruption and all this stuff going on. So she's this she's a concerned mother, and she harassed. And then, of course, this backlash because she's had this effrontery to go against the police. So now it's like, well, there must be some mental issues with you. You don't trust, and so there's this backlash and all this stuff. So that's a good performance, too. And I like that one. And actually, who's in that one is John Malkovich is good in that movie, too, because he's like what do you call it? A preacher who's also been railing against the police for lots of reasons. And so that one's a good one. That one always kind of stuck in my mind. Little far-fetched, perhaps, but it's a great performance. It's a good performance. So those would be my three.
Yeah, Changeling. I totally forgot about that.
I had to kind of remember. Did I just do
three? It was good. No, you did.
Yeah.
Everyone like and subscribe, please, if you would.
Please
Thank you so very much. Let's see, my three.
I appreciate it more than he does, so please.
Oh, God.
Like and subscribe.
Let's see. I will piggyback on your Girl Interrupted because I just think it's so young.
Yeah.
I remember watching that movie, and Winona was fine. Kind of a precursor to what you saw later in Stranger Things. But I think that Angelina Jolie's performance in that is just it's earth shattering for her. Like I said, it's such a young age, and to keep that, here's this cool kid. She knows the system. She's been playing the system, and she's got a look about her.
Yeah.
That she's a striking girl, and she's in a way that's almost been very distracting, I think, throughout her career along the way. I've read article after article about, it's just like, she's too pretty, and just like, well, she's not. She's she's a movie star.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those things where she in Girl Interrupted, she's got the system. She knows how everything works, but just below the surface, and it's in her body language, in her face, that you're really seeing that, all right, ticking time bomb right here, and it goes off, and it's fantastic, well-deserved Oscar there.
Yeah.
My next one would be more recent, Maleficent.
Okay. Yeah.
Really just fun to see her just dripping with evil and just having there's just so much it has to be so much fun for an actor to play someone just totally evil and just dig right into it, because it just looks like it's been so much fun.
Usually
to do,
the villains would be more fun to play, don't you think?
Exactly. So she just makes that role a lot of fun to watch. And you in a way, you kind of sympathize a little bit, but yeah, she's still pretty darn evil.
Sure.
But again, it's she has a playfulness, and she does a lot. It's such an interesting costume because it doesn't allow like a lot of body language stuff, and there's so many other effects going on. But her face and the way they have to,
it's kind of highlighted too. Yeah.
So it's really interesting how she's able to have that sort of evil playfulness or playful evilness. and that she does, and I just found it so much fun to play. And then the next one would be Wanted.
Okay.
Remember Wanted?
Vaguely.
Oh
There's
my
few
God!
of those,
Such a it's one of those things where, and there's so many great people in there. James McAvoy is in that. Chris Pratt is in that in a little weird role, and Morgan Freeman. It's just it's such a great little movie,
I'm gonna have
and
to watch that again.
it's your sort of typical. It's interesting. It's as though her Lara Croft character would, just sort of came out into more of a real world kind of situation. She's calm, she's cool, she's totally badass, and she's just got it all together. And it's just a very powerful character that she's able to embody. And I just really like it because she seems completely unflappable. Nothing, like at just a glance, she can just wither James McAvoy, who the whole movie is just like, wait, what is going on? What is going on? Like he's so freaked out by everything. And she's just like, cool. And she just does that so well. She's like I said, she did that in Tomb Raider. She made Tomb Raider like less of a caricature than the video games do. And in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, she's also got that sort of playful coolness about her.
I often wonder in real life because she's an activist, a humanitarian.
Yeah.
She has a lot of causes, and and we applaud her for that. But you wonder sometimes, is her personality similar to that?
Yeah,
just this cool, calm. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think it might be. Who knows?
You never know.
Exactly.
There's no way
of knowing,
really. So yeah, those would be my three Angelina Jolie movies.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I did end up watching Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Again, for this, and that's also just a lot of fun. I think everybody in that movie is just like, yep, this is ridiculous.
Everybody's having fun because
and there's mostly just green screen behind us. No idea what this is going to look like afterwards. But it's just kind of fun because she's so distinctive looking, and that's such a stylish movie. And you've got Alfie. The hell's his name? No,
the other
Alfie.
Yeah, the other Alfie.
The other Alfie. Yeah. And I'm going to cut this part out where I forgot. So that's such a fun movie to watch because it does look so fantastic.
Jude Law.
Yeah.
Thank
Jude
you.
Law.
Yeah,
I knew
I was like, what?
I don't have to cut it out now.
Why am I having trouble?
Yeah, I know. So you're also watching the early onset Alzheimer's here, folks. So
it's not that early.
It's not. So yeah, that's our.
So your three picks were.
I make this difficult because I actually.
Angelina Jolie. That's okay. Yours were Wanted, Maleficent, and then we agreed on Girl Interrupted.
Girl Interrupted, yeah. And yours were Girl Interrupted and Changeling and Pushing Tin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
I will agree was a disappointing movie.
Yeah, it just I don't know what it is. It should have been better.
Should have been
on
better.
paper. It sounds great.
Yeah, that
really
we
does.
should have an episode. It's just like should have been better, but that's all movies.
There's a lot of them.
There are. So everybody like and subscribe.
Please.
I can tell you that now.
Like
and I had a question.
Posed a question at the beginning. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
That's a long time ago.
It is.
I asked you what the first R-rated movie you snuck into.
The first one I snuck into. I was good. I've told you before that I don't know if I ever really had to sneak into it. I just had to be positive enough, and you just it wasn't like I was too nervous, but. Going back to, I want to say the end of 1977, which I know sounds like
that's a long time ago.
Sounds like a long time.
You are so old.
Yes, thank you. Going back to that one, Saturday Night Fever which originally came out as R.
It was rated R. Yeah.
So that was the R.
I'd say it's an R-rated movie, and then the special release was PG.
Then they did have a PG release later
youngins
on,
like myself,
which I don't remember like how much later it switched. You know,
I
they
think
came
it was
out with
like
a version.
like the next. It was because it was in theaters for a while. And
Yes.
then, like there was like I want to say a year later.
I want to say yeah,
because things stayed in theaters much longer.
Oh, yeah.
back then.
and that was a big movie. That was a big deal. Great soundtrack. So you know, there was a lot to keep it in the theater about. You know, the movie itself, but the music. There was a lot going on with that one. So they did at some point want to make it more accessible to a younger crowd. So then they changed it to the PG rating. They took out some things. I can't even tell you how much they took out, but there was some profanity.
Yeah.
I want to say there was a rape scene, or you know what I mean, something like that. It's been a while for me, but that was the first.
Okay.
That was the first one I got in R-rated that I got into.
All right. Mine was this was like super scared, and I walked up to the ticket lady. I was like, Can I have one for
your voice is breaking.
Can I have one for risky business? And she gives me the ticket. I started to walk away, and she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh, Dustin,
you want your change, kid?"
It literally was.
Oh, was it?
I had totally forgotten my change. I took the ticket and I started to watch. She's like, "Dude, your change." I'm like, "Oh, all right." So I get my change.
Come back here, young man. Here's your 50 cents change.
It was it was risky business. That wasn't my first rated R movie, because I had been to, there were a couple.
Oh, with adults, you mean?
Yeah, I had been to, my dad had taken me to go see, I think there's a Gene Wilder movie. It might have been
with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
I think Fast Times at Ridgemont High was rated R. I think it was. So I saw that. So I had seen rated R movies, but this was the first one that I walked into, and I was, and my buddy was just like, "Dude, just what is going on with you?" So, and so that was my first rated R movie experience, like sneaking in.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't about Tom Cruise.
It wasn't about him.
It was about Rebecca De Mornay back then.
Of
know what I'm saying? Anyway.
If that's your story, I'll go along.
Definitely my story. I'm sticking with it. Give me the bucket.
All right.
What are we going to talk about next?
Okay. What you got? Tell me what you got.
Rebecca De Mornay. No.
John Travolta.
Okay. There you go. That'll be a good one.
All righty. Look forward to doing some homework.
All right. Yep. That'll be fun. So,
yeah, it will be.
All right. Hey, like and subscribe if you like and haven't yet subscribed. Hit the little notification bell. That's also a very cool thing to do.
Share it with friends.
Yeah,
comment.
Definitely.
We love it.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.